Hey y'all, it's Zip. If you found your way here, it's probably because you heard that ding. But if you found your way here some other kind of route, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Ooh, that rhymed. I like that. Okay, so this week we are going to be discussing parenting with anxiety. But that leads me to my shout out for the week. So, I discovered a podcast that is absolutely therapeutic for any parent who is staying at home with children with anxiety. Make sure you check out the Mothering Anxiety podcast. You can check her out on Instagram and make sure you follow me on Instagram as well because I'm going to be taking a poll on next week's topic. Well, not next week's, but the next episode's topic. And I am also doing Affirmation Fridays and Meditation Mondays regularly. I promise to be consistent. So make sure you follow me on Instagram at Zips Anxiously Amazing. And don't forget to subscribe. This week, we're discussing parenting with anxiety because it should be more fun than overwhelming. Okay, so I know you're probably looking at this like, Zip, why are we in a robe and looking at starry skies? But I just felt like if we were going to talk about parenting with anxiety, it needed to be a peaceful moment. So let's get to it. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the lack of information when it comes to parenting with anxiety. So my main question when I was trying to find tips or something helpful for myself, I wanted to know what could I do as a parent with anxiety to help me have an easier time with my kids. I get overwhelmed really fast with them. And it was disappointing. Like Google had nothing to help me with that. Most of the articles were solely about how to parent a child with anxiety, but none of them were giving you tips on how to be a parent with anxiety, which was really weird to me because it's kind of like kids don't just get anxiety, so you gotta start with the parents. Like obviously they're getting it from somewhere. How you gonna skip a whole generation? So, anywho, that's why Zip is here. Because I'm going to help myself and I'm going to help as many other people along the way when it comes to this because it's ridiculous. Like, we need help. So, I also looked up library books and I still couldn't really even find anything as far as parenting with anxiety. Like I said, most of the information was just how to parent a child with anxiety, which is important just in case you accidentally pass anxiety down to one of your kids, then you know you have plenty of that information out there. But for those of us who are trying to avoid that and we want to fix it in ourselves, we need some information for ourselves right now. So what I did was I tried to find the best statistics that I could. So according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, yes, I'm reading off of a board because I got pregnancy brain like a mother. The most common mental illness is anxiety disorder. So about 40 million adults out there are suffering from anxiety. That's a lot, and that's like more and more every year. That's a lot. So then I found that anxiety is more common in females. There's 23% of females suffering from anxiety, and there's 14% of males suffering from anxiety. And this is ages 18 and up. So it just kind of makes you wonder though, like how many of those people are parents? Because then that would answer part of my question, which was how many other parents out there are suffering from anxiety and trying to parent at the same darn time. And I'm sure it's a lot because I wouldn't be surprised if the whole 23% of females and 14% of males that has anxiety, they probably have kids. Because I'm sure some of us parents are getting anxiety from having children, but that's because we're just not prepared for this and we're learning along the way, and that's okay too. So I also found statistics that said that anxiety is affecting about 2 times as many adults ages 26 to 49 than it does adults ages 50 plus. So if you're wondering why that older generation don't understand your anxiety, it's because they don't really have it. And most times people can't relate to something they never had or never experienced. We're now going to touch on my own personal experience of parenting with anxiety as a stay-at-home parent versus as a working parent. I honestly feel that both are equally as hard. And let me tell you why. So, as a stay-at-home parent, I actually feel like, I take that back, I feel like the workload as a stay-at-home parent is a lot heavier than as a working parent, because when you're a stay-at-home parent, you literally never get the clock out. So you're going from the moment you get up, and then you're going even more once those kids get up. And then from there, you're going all night long or to whenever your kid's bedtime is. And then you probably get to wind down for a little while. But when you go to sleep, you still think about them kids that you just put to bed, all kinds of crap in the house, the crap you never got to do, the crap you got to do tomorrow. Like, it's a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna say that the workload for a stay-at-home parent with anxiety is a little bit more heavier than if you're going to work. When you're going to work, you're getting that, a little bit of a break from your kids, so to speak. Even though when you're at work, 9 times out of 10, you're dealing with some other kind of, God knows what, we're gonna keep the names real nice and proper here. But there's always that one person at work that's probably getting on your nerves just as much as your kids. But other than that, you really don't have to deal with them, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to hold their hand, you don't have to fix their lunch. Matter of fact, when you get a lunch, you chilling. Like, you gotta do with them people, that's your lunch. You can leave, you go do whatever you need to do. So when you're at home though, see, as a stay-at-home parent, like, child, half the time I forget to eat. I don't eat lunch till about 4 o'clock, and at that point, I'm trying to cook dinner. So it's wild. Like, it's really wild. When you're working, you kind of have a routine. You have a schedule. We're gonna talk about that too a little bit later. Now, another thing is, if you're a parent who's working and you have anxiety and you have a job that you do not like, then I'm going to say your job as a working parent versus a stay-at-home parent is just as hard if you're doing work that you don't like. Because, of course, you love your kids. Sometimes that work as a parent gets really overwhelming. And we're not going to sit here on my channel and sugarcoat it like you don't be having days where you like, I'm fed up with this bullshit. Okay? Now, we're not going to say that in front of our children. That's why we're doing this while they're sleeping. But yeah, that's just how you feel, and that's just keeping it real. Like, some days I wake up, and as a parent, I'm tired of this shit. Like, I am tired, but I don't push that out on my kids. I do my best to let them know that even when they get on my nerves, because I'm going to let them know when they aggravate me, I still love you though, but you are being quite aggravating right now. So, and I have to laugh because my kids are characters. Their responses are always priceless. And if you have children like mine, then you're probably laughing too. So, now we're going to get into these good old tips, okay? Y'all ready? So please understand that when I talk about these tips, I am talking to myself too, okay? Because I don't have any of these tips down pat. I am being transparent. I am being honest. However, based on me sitting down with myself, just trying to figure out, what can I do different? Based on all the suggestions that have come from my husband, that have come from my in-laws, that have come from my own family, friends with kids, whatever the case may be, and just from me analyzing my children. Here are my top 5 tips, y'all. Let's go. Okay, I had to take a break and readjust because, this pregnant thing ain't too fun once you get real round. But here we go. Tip number 1. We gonna do this together, y'all. I want everybody to try this out. I'm talking to my stay-at-home parents, and I'm talking to my working parents as well who have anxiety. It's gonna be pretty darn easy for my working parents because your work schedule is already doing this partially for you. So if that doesn't tell you what my tip is, here it goes. We've got to create a schedule/routine. Okay, y'all? We have got to put these kids on a damn schedule. If we don't put these kids on a damn schedule, they are literally going to drive us through the goddamn roof. We can't do that. I tell one of my friends all the time, girl, I'm almost sitting on the roof. I'm almost sitting on top of my roof, pulling my hair out. If I had a lawn chair that was suitable enough for me to climb up the ladder and go up down the roof, I'd probably go sit up there, especially while the kids napping, and take me a little mini vacation, because that's exactly what it feels like I need every day, sitting in this house with kids all day with no structure. Without a routine, without a schedule, you have no structure, period. That's why when you go to work, you got a routine and you got a schedule, and they give your ass structure because it is needed in everything and all things. So that's tip number 1, y'all. Make sure you write that one down. Put on a sticky note, write on your board, do whatever you need to do, because that's the tip number 1 is probably gonna be our top tip, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna move right along into tip number 2. Now, tip number 2 is one of my favorite tips that I had to learn. Yeah, and I know you're probably like, what? Especially once I tell you what the tip is, that's when you're gonna say, what? The tip is to just breathe. So yes, it's like, girl, how you had to learn how to breathe? Well, I mean, yeah, naturally, involuntarily, we walk around here breathing. But when you get pissed off, ask yourself, did you take a deep breath before you reacted? When you get overwhelmed, ask yourself, am I stopping to really take a deep breath in and blow it out? Trust me, it makes a huge difference, y'all. So even if you're in the middle of washing dishes, you're in the middle of doing the laundry, you got baby kids, whatever you're doing, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like it's too much, just take a moment, because you can't run from it. So take a moment. Just deep breath. Hold it for a second. Don't let it out yet. Okay, now let it go. So practicing those deep breathing exercises really helped me to calm my anxiety attacks. I was experiencing anxiety attacks so bad from just trying to figure out how to be a parent. It was insane, y'all. And it was really starting to consume me. And it was depressing me, and it was making me sad. So listen to me when I tell you, seriously, that breath, it goes a long way. And then with me being pregnant, I gotta learn how to breathe anyway, because I like to have my babies naturally. We shooting for a water birth this time, y'all. I'll keep y'all updated on that. All right, so we're gonna move into tip number 3. Tip number 3. I came up with this really cute idea one day off the whim of my daughter getting on my nerve, and she kept asking me the same question over and over as if she don't already know the rules in my house. I decided to make the rules in the house fun. Yes, fun. You can do that. So here's what I did. I pretty much turned the rules into a game. So now it's kind of like a pop quiz. So, like, if you coming up to me and you ask me a question that if you just think about one of my rules, it could answer your question. I pop quiz them, y'all. I pop quiz them. So, like, one of the rules in my house is don't run down my hallway. But you just asked me, could you play tag in my house? What's a rule in the house that might keep you from playing tag? That's how you do that. And then they're going to be like, oh, we can't run in here. Yeah, so unless you finna play silent tag and walk down my hallway real quietly, no, we can't play tag in the house. But we can save that activity for when we go outside later on. Now don't ask me again. See how that works? And sometimes it don't work. Let's be real. Sometimes it don't work because they're kids and they might come right back and ask you the same question. That's when we're gonna have to refer back to step number 2 and take a deep breath in. Don't let them repetitive questions and the repetitive breaking of your rules send you over the edge. I'm learning this myself, y'all, so we in this together. Tip number 4. Take a break. Like, for real. Stop going the whole day till 3, 4 o'clock eating lunch. Stop holding your pee like you a nurse at the hospital running patients and you actually can't take a goddamn bathroom break because you can't. Don't let I want to put this in the right terms. Just don't let parenting consume you, okay? I don't want to say it wrong while at the same time. So I'm just going to say don't let parenting consume you. Please just don't let it take over your whole day. Yes, those kids are with you all day long or part of the day if you're a working parent, but don't let it consume you. Don't let the paranoia or the fear or the anxiety or the unknowingness of what your child might do next to aggravate you. Don't let it consume you. Just go with it. And just constantly remind yourself too, they're children. They're children and they're learning. And just think about how it was when you was a kid and you was learning. Now, tip number 5. This one I've been doing for a while, y'all, and it actually has been working. Now, it's only effective during a certain moment. So that's why it's at the bottom of the list. Of course, the tip that's actually working is at the bottom of the damn list, right? That's okay. We're gonna work. We're gonna figure this out. And one day we're gonna come back and we're gonna have an episode that's so solid on tips. All the parents with anxiety across the world are gonna be like, thank you Zip, thank you Zip viewers, thank you Anxiously Amazing, you helped me figure it out. But tip number 5 is to bond with your babies. Yes, I know you like, they with me all the time, they don't let go of my leg, they come in the bathroom when I'm trying to do number 2. Like, I get it, y'all, I get it. But that is not bonding. That is just a child being a child. So hear me out. Bonding. This is where you can keep it fun, keep it casual, and keep it cool for you because you can kind of tap into your inner child here. And what I like to do to bond with my kids, my oldest daughter, we can't not have a movie night every week. And if she could have a movie night every night, we would, but we can't do that. So we have movie night at least once a week. I like to watch movies with my kids that I enjoyed as a child too. So, and it's not to try to get them to like what I like, but I actually kind of like seeing them watch movies that we watched as kids growing up, because the stuff that they're watching now don't really compare to what we watched growing up. Our shit was teaching us lessons. The stuff they're watching now just be kind of teaching them how to be dumb and all over the place. But we're not going to touch on that. I'm going to mind my business. So back to what I do. We like to watch lots of Disney movies. We like to watch Nickelodeon shows together. We go old school. Like, I'm a 90s kid, so we keep it back in the day a little bit in my house. Now, I do let them indulge in some of this new stuff, but a lot of it, So, yes, bond with your kids. Even if you play a game. My kids, we like to play Spyro together. We also like to play Mortal Kombat together. They like to play Mortal Kombat together. I know you kind of like your kids to play Mortal Kombat. Yeah, they're a little young, but child, it don't faze them. They love it. They love Mortal Kombat. So we do things like that. I also have started buying board games. So we're doing board games now. I'm gonna teach them some card games soon. And I think that I'm gonna get some more just little activities like arts and crafts and stuff. So y'all, we gotta bond with these kids. We gotta give them some real deal one-on-one time and attention, because I noticed that on the weeks where I'm not bonding with my kids as much, they're very needy. Very needy. But when I take that extra moment to actually bond with them, during those weeks, I noticed that they're very self-sufficient. Like, they can get up and do things without me having to yell, without me having to tell them over and over, or without having to come ask me what to do next. And so it's like on days that they don't do that, it's a little bit frustrating. But we just have to get past it and move past it, and just know that at the end of the day, we are being the best parents that we can be, and that we love our children, and that no matter what, we're gonna be okay, and we're gonna conquer this anxiety together. Thank y'all for watching, and make sure you don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.